He's getting older.
Who's got AIDS?
Oh, hit the full button!
But not wiser.
Everybody has affinity for cock.
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with you all here today. The 14th of July in the year of our spaghetti monster 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to the Lefty Show. Glad to be here. Hope to put on a great show for you today. Episode number 55 of the Lefty Show. Thank you all for joining me on my birthday. It's my birthday, the 14th of July. Thank you all. Thank you to everybody that's been shooting me well wishes on Twitter, on the tweeters and the whatnot. And thank you to everybody for watching on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the Lefty Show in its YouTube formation. You can also follow me on Twitter at Lefty643. And thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show with friends, family, and co-workers. You can go to leftyshow.podbean.com if you want to subscribe to the RSS feed, or you can also search The Lefty Show on your Android podcasting app of choice, or go to the iTunes store and search The Lefty Show. Find us there. Climbing the charts of iTunes. We are number 16 right now in the American charts, on the American comedy charts. The Lefty Show is number 16. And I thank you all for doing that. Thank you to everybody for donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can go to donate. And like I said, it's my birthday today, recording the show. Gonna get it out of the way and then go do some stuff, I guess. I got some great presents from my girlfriend Katie. Thank you, sweetheart. I greatly appreciate it. But I feel old. I mean, it was easy to convince myself that I was young even when I turned 21, 22, 23. I was like, oh, I'm young still. Still a young guy. But now I'm 27 and I'm not young anymore. I'm not a young man. And it's it sucks. In many ways, it sucks getting older. The loss of innocence, many people say, but it's really the piling on of responsibilities. It is really like the piling on of responsibilities that you never even thought of. Obviously, there's you got bills to pay, right? And I've got bills, and I pay my bills, and lots of people do. But all of a sudden, there's things popping up around you that you were like, what? I have to think about that. Like I have to expend time thinking about this. One of which is diet. When I was 17 years old, 18 years old, I could eat 4,000 calories a day. And I wouldn't gain a pound. I was active. I walked back onto my senior year of high school after taking my sophomore and junior year off. I walked back onto my varsity baseball team. And at the time, I was taking a lot of AP courses my senior year in high school. And I could not go to the preseason training even before the tryout. I couldn't make it. And as a result of that, I had to work out on my own. I had to get myself in shape for the team. I mean, I tried out and I made it. It was just a baseball acumen tryout. There wasn't really any running or stuff, but I couldn't make it to the preseason stuff, and I had to get myself in shape. And when I was 17 years old, and on top of taking all these AP courses, I was up at 4:30, 5 in the morning, got a gym membership, and would go to the gym for an hour and a half, and then go to school. And it was fine. I mean, I would wake up and every single day throughout the week, right? And you wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym. It's hard to drag yourself up, but I wasn't sore. I wasn't like creaky and groany and just awful and bad. Once I woke up and I, shook off the cobwebs of sleep, I was like, all right, let's go to the gym. And, whatever I would do, just spend, I think, like 15, 20 minutes on the elliptical, run like a mile and a half, and then do some weights or boxing routine, depending on which day it is. And I did it all certainly without any injury, without any pain, without anything like that. Now I'm 27 years old, and I run them on the days that I run. I wake up in the middle of the night to go take a piss because, and also apparently, when I was 16 years old, 17 years old, never got up in the middle of the night to pee. Never happened. I didn't have that thing, where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm awake. All right, just go back to sleep. And then you're trying to go back to sleep and you're like, why did I wake up? What woke me up? Was there a noise? Was it a thunderclap, or I don't even know what woke me up. I feel a little twinge down near my balls. What is that? I don't know. Maybe just a little bit of comfort. Okay, you shift over. Like, go back to sleep. Back to sleep. Ah, yeah. Back to sleep. Then you realize that's not just any discomfort. That's pee. Your bladder is trying to tell you, it's time to pee. And you've got to get up and go. I got to do that at least once a night it happens. Sometimes twice. Once in the middle of the night and again and probably at around 6 in the morning. And I get up. When I was 16 years old, didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe I've got an enlarged prostate. Maybe this is prostate cancer coming. I'm not sure. I'm also drinking a gallon of water a day, so that might have something to do with it. But getting back to now, 27 years old, days that I run when I work out, when I get up to go pee in the middle of the night, I'm walking like an old man. My feet hurt. And I'm walking and I'm limping on both feet because I'm like, ow. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Why can't I continue this normally? Why can't I continue what I used to be able to do at 17, 18 years old, 19 years old? And why can't I continue that? When I was younger experimenting with alcohol, I would be able to get rip-roaring drunk. I would sleep in till noon and I'd be fine. And I would feel fine. I'd just be up like, oh, okay, all right, it's up time. Now, if I have just a bit too much to drink, I'm out of commission the entire next day. Out of commission. Just like, oh my God, I'm so hungover. It's awful. And keep in mind, I'm not getting blackout drunk. I'm not even brownout drunk. Not even rolling brownouts. No, it's just a little bit too much, and my body can't handle it anymore. Similar things like diets. Right? Eat a little bit too much when you're 18 years old, and it's just nothing. It's gone. It's gone. Your body, your basal metabolic rate is probably incredibly high when you're 17 or 18 years old, regardless of your weight, fat, body mass index, whatever. It's just super high because you're still growing. And then you stop growing, but you don't realize it. And so you continue to eat what you think is normally, and then all of a sudden you're gaining an extra 5-10 pounds. You're like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? And then you try to work out to work it off, and then the best you can hope for is to stagnate. And then even if you start to lose a little weight, you're up in 5 in the morning to go pee, and you're just hobbling like an old man. And it sucks. And 27 years old, and I sound like I'm 45. Shit, even 45-year-olds probably don't. I'm probably broken. I'm just broken. I think I'm just a broken person. I'm talking a lot about defective humans on this show. I should be sent back for defective parts. Am I still on warranty? What's a warranty on a human? I know you get 10-year warranties for like HVAC stuff. Heat exchangers and furnaces are 99 years, though, which is really weird. You get a 10-year warranty on a furnace, but then the heat exchanger is 99 years. What? Why are you promising something so incredibly crazy? Who's going to be around in 99 years to be like, aha, I need to get this warranty? But it sucks. It's, you sit around, you wonder how many of these you have left. It's kind of a dark thought. But it used to be, like when you were a kid, birthdays are a huge thing. It's like a mini Christmas. If you've got a summer birthday, it's like a half Christmas. It's like a Christmas in between an actual Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. Or Kwanzaa. Maybe you're a Kwanzaa family. In which I say happy Kwanzaa to you. And it's like you're like, all excited, and you wait for it, and it's amazing, and everybody, your whole world, everybody's world around you stops for your birthday. Everything around you stops for your birthday when you're a child. Everybody comes over, there's a party, everybody stops their work, your parents are all around you, your friends come over, everybody does everything they can to make your birthday special. And that lasts probably until you're 15. Maybe a year or two more. But after that, that's it. Then you're on your own. And you get to a point now at 27 where I'm like, woo, it's my birthday. Yeah, man. And I'm going to be walking around town and people are going to be like, it's just a Monday, you jackass. What are you doing? Like, I'll be going to somewhere to get something to eat and pounding beers because Katie's driving me around today. I don't know if she knows that, but you are, sweetheart. And then I'm going to be like, yeah, it's my birthday. And internally, I'm going to be like, yeah, birthday. But then the people watching me are like, what the fuck is this guy doing on a Monday? What is wrong with you? Nobody's world stops anymore as you get older. Your birthday just becomes another day. You have a present. Or a few presents from close family members. And yeah, you can go, oh, okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, happy birthday. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you're a hit on the iTunes comedy charts and you've got a gigantic Twitter following, you may get some love there. But outside of that, everybody's day just goes on normally. And you sit there and wonder, or at least I do, I'm sitting there and wonder, where did that go? Why does that stop? I mean, yeah, we're adults now. We should all act like adults. But, maybe we should all once in a while be able to just stop everything. The world's a fast-moving place. Society is fast-moving. Society is faceless and cold. Society doesn't know nor care about you. You're a part of society, but society as a whole knows not of you and cares not for you. And I think it would be good if we could all, individually, on one day a year, just stop everything. We just say, stop. That's it. Nope. No more going to work on your birthday. No more of that. No, like, oh, it's a working birthday. No. You stop everything. Mandate it. Just stop. Take some time for yourself. That's it. Let's keep that going, that innocence of the whole world stops around you on this day so that you can have some time for yourself. Let's stop. And that's all you get. You get one day. You don't get a birthday week. You don't get a birthday month. You don't get it. And if your birthday's on a Saturday, well, that sucks. Because that's a do whatever you want day anyway. And that sucks, maybe next year. Maybe next year. But let's keep that going, that idea of you can take time for yourself. This is time for you. But similarly, what we're going to stop is you take a week off for Ramadan, or you take a week off for Rosh Hashanah. No. You don't get any more of that bullshit. You're at work doing this. But on your birthday or any day of your choosing, you get that one day where you can stop everything around you. You don't show up for work. You have no obligations. You don't pay any bills. You don't do anything that day except whatever it is you want to do, of course, within reason. And I think that would be good. Solidify the idea of take time for you. Because in our society, we move so fast. And we don't care about this or that or we don't stop to smell the roses. We don't take enough time. And then all of a sudden you realize you're 45 or whatever, you're 50 and you've done nothing but chase dollars your entire life. And you say, well, I've got no time for myself. I've got all this money, but I don't have anything to do with it or spend it on. Oh, man, we allow ourselves to get caught up into anything, whether it be work, whether it be money, whether it be whatever it is. that motivates you. I think it's a good idea to allow everybody their own individual day once a year, and it's easy to just say birthday because everybody's got one. Everybody knows their birthday. If you want to expand it to say pick a day, okay. But I think it's easier to just start and say, this is it. On your birthday, you have no official obligations whatsoever. None. Shit, if your birthday falls on April 15th, you get an extra day. You get an extra day to file your taxes. You don't have to worry about getting to the post office on time and filing taxes. You get an extra day, or if the dates fall right, you get an extra couple of days if it falls across a weekend to not file your taxes. And you just take a day. Everybody takes a day where they just go, okay, this is for me. And I'm going to go do whatever I want. I'm going to go get drunk. I'm going to go to a ball game. I'm going to sit at home and scratch my balls for 6 hours. Whatever you want to do on that day, again, within reason, is entirely up to you. And that's your day. You get one. You get the holidays that we all kind of agree upon, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or excuse me, holidays. You get those. We all kind of agree upon them. And no, we don't all agree upon Rosh Hashanah and Ramadan. So no, you get that one day, and it's yours. You do whatever you want. Go to the park. Go read a book. Go lay down and just spread out and just, this is my day. And remember those times, and if you want to be nostalgic about it, like, I remember on this day, when everybody would stop, everybody's world revolved around me when I was a child, and birthdays were always really fun. Go ahead. Do whatever you want, but I don't think it would be a bad idea to allow people that one day. Just that one day. Because we tend to get too wrapped up and go too far down the road of whatever life path we're taking. Or you say, I'm a stockbroker, and so my life is stocks, and your life passes you by, or the year passes you by. So much time passes by, and then all of a sudden, say, what the fuck? I miss summer, or I miss fall, my favorite time of year, or whatever. Just take a day. Just, And I'm not following my own advice because, I'm working today. I'm doing the show. It's okay, though. I got some other stuff recorded. It's going to go up later. We got some Insurgency coming your way, some more PKA plays. Hopefully he's going to not get third-party content ID'd again. It's been happening again. I've been getting third-party content matches because, and this is not Kyle's fault, but because Kyle has been uploading Castle Crashers before me, his network apparently, and YouTube is just like, meh. His network has been adding his gaming content to their content ID library. And so when I upload a video, it gets content ID matched, and I'm not monetizing. I can't monetize the video. Now, I've been talking with Paintball Kitty. She's been fantastic in helping me navigate this and circumvent some of the claims. But it's just a pain in the ass. And it's just, you want to talk about the society moving too fast, and you want to talk about, which I associate, not necessarily equate, but I associate moving fast with efficiency. Those things are corollaries in my mind. I believe that's right. Or maybe coronaries. Maybe one will definitely cause you to have a coronary. You take enough speed, you are going to have a massive coronary. But I associate, a fast-moving society, a society where people are darting around and going this way or that way constantly and cannot pause to smell the roses, let's say, or cannot stand for even just a small amount of exposition in making a point, or reiteration or hyperbole in making a point. Sorry, I had something in my throat. I regard that a society where that happens, where we say, well, everything's got to be fast. Everything's got to be really fast and fast moving, fast this, fast paced, all this stuff. Well, that means you want a really efficient society. You want a very efficient flow so that it can be fast paced, and I don't think that is an erroneous correlation. I think it makes sense. If we want to be a fast-paced society, we are going to tend towards being an efficient society. Because what would you say is faster, efficiency or inefficiency? Inefficiency, I believe by very definition, cannot be fast. So you want to be a fast-paced moving society, we've got efficiency. Well, the YouTube Content ID system is very efficient, is it not? And look what's happening. I'm getting fucked by the collective network. Collective One. They're fucking me because their automated system is just no matter what people upload, even if they don't actually have the rights to it, it's going to be added to our Content ID library. And YouTube, also being efficient, fast-paced, says, okay, yeah, let's just go through and we'll just take off advertisements on all these people's shit. Because that's what we do. Because it's got to be efficient, because efficiency is the bottom line. It's got to be fast. It's got to be efficient. What is it doing for me? Is this the most efficient way we can do this? And blah, 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 blah. Least amount of input for most amount of output. Is that where we're at? Can we get closer to that? Can we get closer to, or can we raise the bar or lower the barrier, whatever other metaphor? And this is one of the things you get, is you get nonsensical things like, I'm uploading Castle Crashers gameplay. Neither I nor my network nor Kyle or the collective network actually have copyright over this. I mean, we have copyright over the video itself, over probably our audio. We have that copyright. But our audio is not the same. My audio is different from Kyle's. Kyle's audio is different from mine. And it's not made on an audio basis. It's visual stuff. They're claiming copyright on something they don't even fucking own. And it's not their fault. It's not like they're doing it maliciously. It's just in our uber efficient society, that's what this is one of the nonsensical things that results. You add it in. They add this to their library and tell YouTube, use your super efficient system and scrubbing algorithms to go find this. And YouTube's super efficient scrubbing algorithms finds my video, which is kind of similar, and then just done. Taking it. Mine now. Or this very clearly belongs to collective. No, it fucking doesn't. I could get Kyle on the horn. He'd say the same thing. He'd say, no, they're different videos. But that's not very efficient, is it? If you have to have somebody that's able to be contacted to say, hey, this is fucked up, well, that's not very efficient. Or if you remove the indiscriminate algorithm altogether, well, that's really inefficient. That doesn't play here. Never mind the fact that you will cut down almost probably 90% on all erroneous Content ID matches if you go to a complete, quote, analog or human system. You'll cut down on all the erroneous bullshit and stop gaming partners from having to jump through hoops to make gaming content or to make monetized content that you take a huge fucking cut of anyway. And YouTube just, no, fuck you. Just efficiency. Oh, that's what we do. Oh, we're just being hyper efficient, man. That's the greatest thing ever. Okay. Here's one of the things that it hath wrought. Efficiency. Fast-paced. Okay. Automation is very efficient too. We see it, automation in YouTube, obviously, this nonsensical bullshit. And automation everywhere. It's just, your job can be done, but whatever you do, I don't care what you do. You teach, well, I do care what you, okay, let's say this, because my job cannot be done by a computer. Are you a teacher? Are you an accountant? Accountant? Are you an accountant? Yeah. Actuary? Are you an actuary, maybe? Shit, maybe an engineer, right? Looking over structural drawings, that can all be done in AutoCAD. And the forces all, the statics, the static forces and tension and torsion, all that stuff. That can all be done in AutoCAD and expressed as a digital value in a digital file. Many of your jobs can be done by a computer or by an algorithm or by a robot. Detroit figured that out the hard way. They figured that out the real fucking hard way. Oh, shit. A job can be done by a computer. Motherfucker. Or robots or robots. Your job can be done by a computer. It's not just the guy making $6 an hour flipping burgers at McDonald's so you can say, hey, dude, you can be replaced by a computer. No. If you're doing any number of jobs in middle-class America, what's left of the middle-class America, you can be done by a computer too. It can be done. Efficiency, there is much inefficiency if you're doing a job. You, at being a human, probably, especially if you're a teacher, anything like that, how many online lesson plans are there? How many online courses? How many people earning online degrees? In many, many cases in our society, you being a human in a position is inefficient in and of itself. You are inefficient. Your job can be done more efficiently by an algorithm, by a robot, by a this or that. The coffee barista, you're probably on the same level of replaceability as a coffee barista. Should we? It's easy to decry the poor people, and if you look down and thumb your nose at the poor people and say, ha, well, you can have your job. Your job can be done by a computer, so you're not worth this. Your value is not that. Okay, all right. Let's apply that logic to what you do. Let's see how you like it. Efficiency is about to be brought to a whole lot of places in the next probably decade, 20 years certainly. There's going to be a whole lot of efficiency brought to places that people did not even think were being that inefficient. All of a sudden, accountants are replaced by sophisticated algorithms that work within Microsoft Excel or whatever proprietary stuff Google has, accounting software. All of a sudden, that's all going to be done, and accountants are going to be on the job. Oh my God, I'm a CPA, and I did all the things, and I say, well, you're inefficient. You were not worth that because your job can be done by a computer. Now, how do you feel? Now let's view all your thumbing of your nose at the lower class and low skill or no skill jobs. Let's go back and reread to you all the things you said about those people. No, they don't deserve this. They don't deserve that because their job can be done by a computer. They're inefficient. Efficiency. Okay, all right. Here it is. Now you're out of a job. Or the competition for your job just got a whole lot more prevalent in the fact, you just copy an algorithm and a whole lot cheaper. What are you going to do? Now it's your move. What are you going to do? You're going to work for less, aren't you? You'll say, well, I'll do the same job as that algorithm, but I'll work for cheap. I'll work on the cheap. Oh, no. So now you've been leveraged by efficiency into taking less for the same amount of work. And it's all coming for us. It's coming for our society. And nothing. Because we don't have the balls. We don't have the balls to say no. We as a society, in many instances, specifically in this case, don't have the balls to say no. No more efficiency. Greed is good. Greed breeds competition. Competition breeds efficiency, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's the tired old trope of conservative free marketeers, whatever, right? Free market breeds competition, which breeds efficiency, and the most efficient product to market will probably win, and that'll be the best for everybody, right? Yeah. Okay. We don't have the balls to say no to that. To say no. That's bullshit. That's wrong, Gordon Gekko. Greed is not good. Inefficiency in moderation is good. The government gets a lot of slack in that, or a lot of flack, not slack. Government gets no slack. 24-hour news cycle. I took last week, in the last episode of the Lefty Show last week, I took a political quiz. And one of the questions, or one of the statements, which I'm supposed to choose as being closest to my true beliefs, one of the statements had something to do with the government is always inefficient and wasteful. And that is one of the that is one of the chief criticisms of government programs. Sending people into space was incredibly inefficient and wasteful. The IRS, incredibly inefficient and wasteful. All these organizations, all these government entities, incredibly inefficient and wasteful. But, and as a whole, the government is viewed as incredibly inefficient and wasteful. And while I don't disagree with that, I'm not here to say, no, they're not inefficient. Yes, they are inefficient. Who is the largest single employer in America? Who employs the most people? The United States Postal, not the United States Postal Service, but a government arm in the United States Postal Service is incredibly inefficient and wasteful. They're getting killed by FedEx and UPS. Killed. But they employ a lot of people still. The federal government, by way of all these programs, is still one of the largest employers in America. And what allows them to be that? What allows them to, quote, create those jobs? Inefficiency. Efficiency does not create jobs. Inefficiency does. Because when we're talking about jobs, we're talking about jobs for humans. And humans, by their very nature, for many, 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 many areas of work, are inefficient. Shit, we're biomechanical things. We take energy from food, from organic food. That's inefficient. That is very inefficient. If we're just talking about power output, we are one of the most inefficient ways of producing energy and thus doing work, because work is force over distance, which can be expressed as some kind of energy value. We are the most inefficient at doing that, even on the most basic of level. Energy in, energy out. Calories in, calories out. Or I guess calories in, joules out, because I always learn to express energy and work as joules. We are the most inefficient at doing that. It's much more efficient to burn hot coal to power a boiler, to turn a turbine, and create energy, electrical energy that way, and then put the electrical energy in some kind of motor and have the electrical motor do the work. Much more efficient to do all of that than it is to grow food for us, prepare it, eat it, turn it into energy, and then, or consume it, and then have that energy do work. Even on that very basic level, we are incredibly inefficient humans, or inefficient workers. So when people say, oh, we got to create jobs, this efficiency will create jobs, or this new efficient thing will create jobs, I say bullshit. Bullshit. What creates jobs is inefficiency. Now, gross inefficiency will not make a solvent business. That'll take care of itself. If your business creates a ton of jobs, right? You create 10 times more jobs than the average guy in your business. Let's say you're running a gas station, but you're really, 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 really bad at it. You suck major dick at running a gas station. And as a result, you employ 10 times more people at your gas station than anybody else in the area. You are grossly inefficient. You are so inefficient, you're losing money. What's going to eventually happen? Your business will fail. There's a certain amount of inefficiency past which the business won't remain solvent. There's a safety valve. The safety valve is inherent to the way we do things and construct things. And that safety valve is, well, you won't make any more money anymore. The whole idea is to make money, right? Right. Yeah, when you're too efficient, you're not making any more money, right? Well, right. Well, fucking done, aren't you? Well, yeah, I guess so. Inefficiency, we need to stop being scared of inefficiency. And the first step to not being scared of a little bit of inefficiency is to not go around and start being inefficient. That's not what I'm saying. I think we should first have the balls to say no. No. We should be scared shitless that the LA Times is allowing an algorithm to write articles about earthquakes. I don't know if I believe reporters are some kind of union. You say no. No. I mean, shit, you could probably get an algorithm to write a Tyler Perry comedy, right? Just find a racist website, give that to the algorithm. Let's take Watson, give it Urban Dictionary and then some racist website, and then task it with turning out a shitty comedy about a black family. And then, bam, you got Tyler Perry comedy series all day. Watson just churning them out. Emmys, hero to the black community, apparently, by being incredibly racist and stereotypical of black people. I don't understand it. But we need to stop We need to stop being scared of that, or stop being scared of inefficiency and have the balls, the first step, to say no to efficiency. No more. No more efficiency. Efficiency, total efficiency, will run us right out of human jobs. That's total efficiency. Nobody likes to talk about it because, efficiency, it's technology and efficiency and technology and efficiency. It's so amazing. I say, okay, well, what's the end game? 100% efficiency, right? Because that means the most profit, right? Yeah. What does that do for humans? Doing jobs and having income. What does that do? Does it help or hurt our way of life, our society, our economic system to be totally inefficient or totally efficient or even approaching total efficiency? It's like the speed of light. Even as you approach total efficiency, you completely phase out the human aspect of labor in creating your product or service, whatever it is. That's total efficiency. And if you want total efficiency, well, then we're going to have to find something else to do. Capitalism just ain't going to get it done if we are being totally efficient. It's just not going to get it done. It's not going to be, it will cease to be a practical human application. It will cease to be a practical application for human economics. It'll be great on paper. It'll be great for all the computers. It'll be great for all the algorithms that are doing all the work and all the computers and the networks that run them and all that stuff. It'll be great. But for us, the real humans with, well, hopefully the computers don't become sentient. The conscious, organic, carbon-based units, us, that's bad. Now we're all out of a job. And then I look to everybody who say that flies the flag of efficiency and technology, and I say, okay, what now? What do we do now? What do we do now? Do we have the government tax the corporations or the robots to shit, and then we pay one half of the population to dig ditches and the other half to fill them in, and we call that work? And we just say, yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not capitalism anymore, is it? Total efficiency means total lack of human jobs, to me, or at least approaching it. It's like the speed of light. You can never really get to it, because I know there's going to be that guy. I know there's going to be that guy that's like, oh, well, you can never have total efficiency. You need human workers. I say, okay, right. And because we have mass, we can never get to the speed of light because it would require an infinite amount of energy. Unless, oh, God, we warp space-time, and that's just way beyond I have no understanding of that. But it would appear to me that the speed of light metaphor applies to efficiency. While we can never get to 100% efficiency, we could probably get to 70-75% efficiency total. And that's probably just as not good. Probably just as not good. When you start getting into significant percentages of efficiency, you start really cutting the heart out of the human workforce. And this isn't middle class, low class, upper class. This is the human workforce, the need for humans to do jobs or to go to jobs or to have jobs, to do work, to bring a product or service to market. And then I asked, okay, we're at 75% total efficiency. We finally got it. We can't go anymore. No more to be done. What do we do now? There's 85% of the population, the world's population, or the U.S. population is out of work. All done by robots. What do we do now? What's the end game here? And nobody has it. It's all very short-sighted. And I think that's really bad. We need to have the ability and the balls to say no. No more efficiency. How do we do that? Government. I don't think it's a bad idea. All right, let's do some news. Got some efficiency stuff to talk about. Some economics. It's the news with Lefty. We got some stuff to talk about today. A lot from the Independent, actually. The Israel-Gaza conflict. There's Israelis sitting on a hilltop watching missiles strike into Gaza. Citigroup is going to pay $7 billion in a mortgage settlement. Four-time deportee is arrested for allegedly assaulting a girl. Delta Airlines, huge backlash after asking a breastfeeding mother to cover up. And the World Health Organization recommends that all gay men should take antiretroviral medicine to halt HIV epidemic. And finally, executive pay, 180 times the average pay of average workers. It's the News Lefty. So we're talking about the economy, and we're talking about efficiency and pay and jobs and all this stuff. This is from the BBC News. The High Pay Center, a think tank, said shareholders were still backing high executive pay deals despite new powers to vote them down in annual meetings. The pay of the average FTSE 100 chief executive increased from £4.1 million to £4.7 million last year, said the report. It looks like the L is the pounds, right? Euro is like the E with the two lines. It looks like an E with the two lines through it, I think. The L with it looks like an L. I don't know what so just like I don't know where the American dollar or the dollar sign comes from. I have no idea where the British pound. I think it's pounds. I'm saying pounds. To £4.7 million last year, said the report. The government should take action to close the pay gap, it said. In October, new rules came into effect forcing listed firms to give shareholders a binding vote on directors' pay. Executive elite is this subheading. A firm's remuneration policy now requires the approval of more than 50% of shareholders for a policy to pass. Business Secretary Vince Cable introduced the shift to make a clearer link between pay and performance. The High Pay Center's report says that without further action, trust in business will be damaged by the perception that an executive elite is reaping all the rewards from economic growth. The government's tinkering won't bring about a proper change in the UK's pay culture, High Pay Center's Director Deborah Hargreaves said. A maximum pay ratio would recognize the important principle that all workers should share in a company's success and that gaps between those at the top and low and middle earners cannot just get wider and wider. Last week, 52% of shareholders voted not to support the remuneration report at fashion house Burberry in a rare stand against large salaries. It is rare that protesting shareholders are in a majority, having happened just 6 times since 2000. Among the most recent examples was of the insurance giant Aviva. In 2012, investors voted against the pay package of then-chief executive Andrew Moss. He resigned shortly afterwards. Executive pay, and this is the lead here. Executive pay has grown from 60 times that of the average worker to almost 180 times since the 1990s, according to a report. Now, this is, of course, in jolly old England. Across the pond. Welcome to all of you that are interested in this news. But it's not really a stretch to believe that the numbers in America are similar. The pay of executives has grown from 60 times that of the average worker in the 1990s to now almost 180 times. Triple growth in 20 years. We've had in 20 years the difference between the very top and the kind of middle has grown more than 3 times. And if we just stick with that idea instead of 60 to 180, let's say in 20 years, the gap between the largest being paid in a corporate setting and the I don't know, let's call it the average. I don't know what kind of average it is, but the average has grown or has tripled in size, the difference. And do we need any more to say that, holy shit, something's weird? Because here's the deal. Now, here's why it's a big deal to me, because I know some people are going to say that, well, executives, they're the top dogs, and the top dogs get the biggest pay because they're the most valuable, and value breeds reward, right? And I can't disagree with that, and I won't. What I will disagree with is that the rewards for the top dogs have been growing while the standard of living for the middle ground, the middle guys, has been going down and down and down and down and down. This is a story that I like to bring out every once in a while. This is from The Street. This was published in 2012. The U.S. standard of living has fallen more than 50%. Using the year 2000 as the numerical base from which to zero all the numbers, okay? Real wages peaked in 1970 at $20 an hour. Now, this is real wages. Again, using a proprietary way to normalize inflation calculations, because for those of you that don't know, when you hear the number inflation, when you hear that, like thrown about, oh, inflation's this, inflation's that, the government calculates inflation. It's one of I believe that's the gold standard that everybody uses. However, the government routinely changes the formula with which they use, or the formula which they use to calculate inflation. What they don't do, though, is retroactively apply those inflation calculations or that inflation formula to every previous year. So when you go to an inflation calculator and you say, "Oh, well, if I was making $20 in the Roaring '20s, I'm making $20 an hour in the Roaring '20s, what would I really be making?" And you're like, "Oh my God, it's like $10,000 an hour. It's incredible." While it's true that that there's inflation, to give you an idea, it's not an exact one-to-one, because the way inflation is counted now is not the same way that inflation was calculated for the year 1920. And the street is using their own inflation, normalized inflation for every single year. So, using the year 2000 as the numerical base from which to zero all of the numbers, real wages, not nominal, real wages peaked in 1970 at around $20 an hour. Now, this is in the year 2000. If you were alive in the year 2000, this is what $20 an hour would get you, which would be fucking amazing. Today, the average worker makes $8.50 an hour. Now, these are real, normalized numbers. This is not low class. This is not anything like that. This is like the average worker in the year the average worker now is making $8.50 an hour in year $2000. So if you were around in the year 2000 and you were making $8.50 an hour, which is a good bit more than I was making as a supermarket checker, but that's about what I was making. I was making a little bit less, probably $7.50, $7.75, something like that. That's what I was making in about 2002, 2003. That's what you were making now. That's what the average worker is making now. And they go on in this article to say that since for time immemorial, we have tied standard of living to average wage. If your standard of living goes up, your average wage is likely to have gone up. If your wage goes down, your standard of living goes down. That's just the way it is, really simple. And so from 1970, again, this is in all year 2000 dollars, or dollars from the year 2000. 1970, the average worker is making $20 an hour. Today, the average worker is making $8.50 an hour. That has shrunk. The average worker's wage has gone down, done nothing but gone down since 1970. But in the 20 years from the 1990s to now, the average executive pay, the difference between the average worker's pay and the executive's pay has more than tripled. Tripled. That's a problem. It's not just that, oh, the executives are the high, blah, 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 blah. They deserve the most. They deserve the most. I'm not saying that they don't deserve the most, but I think something's a problem. Something's really wrong when the difference between the executive and the average is growing, while the difference between over time of the average, just average to average, is doing nothing but going down. From $20 an hour in 1970 to $8.50 an hour now. If you were alive in the year 2000 and earning $8.50 an hour, that's what your average American is making now. And we're okay. Everybody's seemingly okay with that. We continually elect politicians that just, no, nothing's going to be done about that. And if you dare even question, like, hey, maybe something should be done about this. You mean you don't want you want the government to intervene? Well, who else has the power to do that? Me? Do I have the power to make sure that the fucking JP Morgan Chase guy isn't paying himself $85 million a year, whatever it is, while he's fleecing the U.S. populace from billions of dollars? Oh, we got a bailout for a couple $100 million. Oh, by the way, yeah, oops, we lost $2 more billion. Our bad. Whoops. We fucking did it. Oh, man, it was awful. We just didn't know. We didn't know. we'd fucked ourselves. And by fucked ourselves, I mean, we mean you. We fucked you. And then you got angry and we said, well, too big to fail, give us money. And you did. And we just, it's the craziest thing. It really is the craziest thing, I swear. We just totally forgot to stop fucking you. We forgot. We were fucking you and you said stop and you paid us essentially to stop fucking you. We forgot. We were busy counting the money. We forgot to cease with the pelvic thrusting our gigantic bank cock into your asshole. Our Bangkok in your asshole. We forgot. Our bad. Whoops. Just bad. Okay, sorry. Whoopsies. I mean, nothing. And yeah. We don't want a government intervention, but too big to fail. Too big to fail. Oh, okay. And that's a serious problem to me. If the gap between the middle and the top is getting larger, but the gap over time between the middle and middle is doing nothing but going down. That's not good. All of a sudden, people say, and I've got a problem similarly, though, on the other side, because I've got nothing against people making money. I just think I want everybody to be reasonable. The executives know they're being unreasonable, but they're greedy cocksuckers, and we all love Gordon Gekko and Milton Friedman, apparently, so we say, oh, free market, that's okay, greed is good. But I want everybody to be just reasonable. Just be reasonable. And you know what reasonable is. And similarly unreasonable on the other side of the coin is people that say income equality or income inequality. I think we really need to stop using that term. We need to stop. We need to stop with income equality. We need to stop it. Stop. Because that is misrepresenting the message. The message of, hey, you know what? Maybe executives shouldn't be growing in terms of how much they're making when the average worker is making a fucking less than half of what they were 40 years ago in actual normalized real wages, not nominal wages, real wages, accounted for inflation and different economic blah, blah, blahs. Maybe something's wrong there. That's totally different from the income should be equal. I want equality in income. No, because the executive is the big mover and the shaker. The executive, they do stuff. Rich people, for the most part, are rich for a reason. They work. They work hard. Everybody hates Kim Kardashian, right? Kim Kardashian is rich. Rich. And she's only famous for being famous. Everybody thought she was famous, and she wasn't really famous, but then she was famous because everybody thought she was famous, and now she's rich. It's, oh my God, how could she be rich? How could she be so stupid rich? That's so ridiculous. It's so fucked up, and Kim Kardashian lives her life in front of cameras. Her life in front of cameras. And she gives herself to the whim of producers and editors. And she lives her life, and she's batshit crazy and silly and not famous or entertaining, but she lives her life in front of cameras and just lays herself bare in front of everybody every single day of her life. Every single day of her, quote, famous life, the life after which she somehow became famous, has been her being laid bare before everybody, before cameramen, before producers, sound guys, editors, and then the general public. She's lived her life creating a product, a shitty product in my mind, but apparently a product that a lot more people like and will watch simply to make fun of her for, and she's accepted that in return for lots of money. She is the butt of all your jokes, the gigantic, voluptuous butt of all your jokes, and she's okay with that because she makes the money. And she's okay, I will be the butt of everybody's joke, and I will have everybody making fun of me because I'm on tape getting fucking railed by some rapper or some failed rapper, and I'm on television all the time blowing up about nonsensical bullshit. I will take all of that. I will be the object of your Schadenfreude Schadenfreude, however the fuck you say it. Not German. Really need to take some German lessons. I really want to learn German. No idea why. She takes all that for money. That's why she's rich. The executives, similarly, are rich pretty much for a reason. Now, of course, there are some guys that, some people just fell ass backwards into it and are shitty rich people, but there are shitty poor people too. I mean, just because you're an executive and you're pulling down 6-7 figures a year or a month doesn't mean you're shitting on people or you're cheating somebody somehow. But when you're pulling down 6-7 figures a month, or you go from 6 figures a year to 7 figures a year, whereas the average guy in your company has gone in the last 40 years from $20 to $8.50 an hour, that's wrong. But it is similarly wrong to say, well, I should be equal on some level. No, the big dogs are big. They do a lot of work. They do things that they have responsibilities that you don't have. They have liabilities that you don't have necessarily. They probably lead a more tenuous existence than you would think, and they're being compensated handsomely for it. More than you. Yeah. The whole idea of income inequality, when you introduce equality into something, you kind of give it an air of, I want what you have. I want you and I to be the same. Whether it's you're rich and I'm poor and I want to be rich like you, or I want you to be poor like me, or I'm miserable and you're happy and I want you to be miserable like me, or I want to be happy like you. You have this idea that you bring other people down, you bring some people up, or you bring people all the way down to you. And I think that was one of the big problems with the Occupy Wall Street movement, was they didn't get out in front of the idea, because I agree fundamentally with the idea of Occupy Wall Street. But I think they didn't do good enough PR to say, no, it's okay for top executives to make a lot of money, because they're fucking executives. What we are against is the very idea that you're being compensated lavishly for your time, and that compensation is doing nothing but go up when accounting for all other economic factors, inflation and otherwise, whereas the average guy, you're just shitting on him. It was really an idea of, your concentration of wealth. I like concentration of wealth better than income equality or income inequality. Because no, the average worker at JP Morgan Chase, whatever it is, shouldn't be making as much probably as the CFO or anybody on the board of directors, because, well, they have different jobs, and one is a lot more high stress and high stakes than the guy that's doing actuarial stuff for handing out car loans and small business loans. A lot more high stakes in the boardroom than it is in the bullpen when you're running numbers. And no, you shouldn't be compensated like the executive. So to say income inequality is to miss the point from the very beginning. And it gives people on the opposite side a lot of ammunition that they shouldn't even have. Let's stop with income inequality. Stop it altogether. It's a concentration of wealth issue. And I know some people may say, you're semanticizing, but the other people will semanticize too. That's my point. Is in public discourse and shit, even in legislating stuff, legislating changes to our economy, opponents of what I think is a good idea in terms of redistributing concentrated wealth, opponents of that will semanticize. And you need to deny them that ability. You need to deny them the ability to pettifog, because when they pettifog, you're going to spend all your time trying to see through the murky bullshit and trying to cut through it instead of having an argument on the merits, because they don't want to have an argument on the merits because it means less money for them. So they will find anything you say, anything in your movement, anything in your campaign, which they can say, oh, wait, what about this? You use this word. This word's mean, and on and on and on and on. You need to nip that in the bud. Cut it down. So no more income inequality. We have a wealth gap problem, or we have a wealth distribution problem. Or shit, well, get away from wealth. Get away from the idea of wealth. Get away, because wealth is value and no. We have We have a money distribution problem in our society. We have a revenue distribution problem in our society. And that's it. Completely distill it from any value, anything like that. Completely divorce it from any of that. We have a revenue distribution problem. We have a money distribution problem in our society. And I agree with that. But to take it so far as to say income equality, income inequality, even though you may not actually mean that all people should be equal, and there are some people that believe that, you're opening yourself up for an argument that will take away from your core message, and I think we should stop, because it really is a problem. Whatever you want to call it. Money distribution, income equality, income inequality, it is a problem in our society. It's undeniable. But if we use the wrong terms when going about discussing it, we're not actually going to have a discussion on the merits, and nothing is going to be accomplished. Nothing at all is going to be accomplished. In other financial news, it's like the financial episode. Citigroup is to pay a record fine in $7 billion mortgage settlement. This is from the LA Times. Citigroup Incorporated will pay $7 billion in cash and consumer relief to settle federal and state investigations into the sale of defective mortgage investments during the subprime housing boom, the Wall Street giant and federal officials said Monday. California is among several states that will share in the settlement, which includes a record $4 billion in civil fines and $500 million in repayments for public pension fund and other losses, plus $2.5 billion in consumer relief. Citi will pay California $102.7 million to offset losses in its public pension funds, according to Attorney General Kamala Harris's office. California is also guaranteed at least $90 million in consumer relief, the most of any state. The agreement follows a series of similar settlements by Wall Street firms that packaged high-risk loans during the housing boom to create bonds they sold to investors around the world. Buyers included public employee retirement funds, which suffered significant losses, as well as smaller financial firms that failed. J.P. Morgan Chase & Company's $13 billion settlement of mortgage-related claims announced in November was the largest of these settlements so far, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder said, or more to come. Citi is not the first financial institution to be held accountable by this Justice Department, and it will certainly not be the last, Holder said at a Washington news conference. Now, hold on a second. Held accountable? By what? What is holding these things accountable, Eric Holder? You're the Attorney General. Attorney General. You prosecute, or you can prosecute federal fucking crimes. But you're not doing that. You're just leveraging, you're levying fines. There's a great scene in the movie A Civil Action. It's a John Travolta, one of the most underrated John Travolta films, I would say. It's got Robert Duvall, obviously John Travolta. It's got the guy from it's not Steve Buscemi. It's got the guy from Monk and a bunch of other great actors. I'm going to look it up right now. I got to look it up. It's a fantastic film, 1998. John Travolta, Robert Duvall, Tony Shalhoub, and William H. Macy. Okay? All-star fucking lineup. All tremendous actors. Even John Travolta was like a really good actor. And you got Robert Duvall, who's fantastic, Tony Shalhoub, and William H. Macy. It's a fantastic film. And Robert Duvall plays an attorney, part of a larger law firm for, I believe it's R.W. Grace, or maybe it's Beatrice Foods. Regardless, he's representing a large corporation, conglomerate. And they're talking in the early stages of this movie. There's a scene where the two lawyers for the two people being sued by John Travolta's character are talking about the lawsuit. And the other attorney is saying, well, we got to get rid of this. We got to get, we're going to dismiss this lawsuit. This is bullshit. And Duvall's character says, when you get a fine, what do? You pay it and you go about your business. And he hung up on the guy. When you get a fine, you don't fight it to City Hall. You don't fight a parking ticket unless you've got some chip on your shoulder bullshit point to prove. You don't fight a ticket all the way to City Hall. You fight bullshit arrests all the way to City Hall, all that stuff, all the way to the Supreme Court. You fight all that. But a fine, just as a civil penalty, you pay that and you go on about your business. Because you're lucky it's not something far, far, far worse. Now, $7 billion is a hefty fine, of course. $7 billion is a lot of money. It's not people in jail. So you pay, because when you pay $7 billion of fictitious money, and by the way, is it going to be all like Brinks trucks full of cash and gold? No, it's going to be 7 billion digital bullshit, never really existed in the first place dollars. It's going to be 7 billion of some bullshit digital holding, some theoretical expression of dollars. That's going to be the fine and how it's theoretically paid. It's all going to be bullshit. No real value, no real tangible value is going to change hands between Citigroup and any of the states or federal government involved. None. It's all going to be bullshit theoretical expressions of monetary value. And they're going to go on about their business. JP Morgan Chase got fined, went about their business. Citigroup got fined, is going to pay it, and they're going to go on about their business. They're going to create this bullshit money from the ether, quote, pay it, and then go on about their business. Nobody's going to jail. Not one person has gone to fucking prison, has been perp walked in front of their other criminal cocksucker friends. That's what needs to happen. You need federal agents. Or shit, state's deputies. Get state troopers in there. California is a local JP Morgan Chase building. Go in there and find somebody to arrest. Serve them with an arrest warrant at Wednesday at 3 o'clock, right? Middle of the week, everybody's there. You show up with state troopers, you serve an arrest warrant, you slap the cuffs on them, and you walk them out like Bud Fox. You mentioned Gordon Gekko earlier in the show. Like Bud Fox at the end of, spoiler alert, like Bud Fox at the end of Wall Street. And I guarantee you this. These Wall Street criminal cocksuckers will react the same way Charlie Sheen's Bud Fox did. If you remember Charlie Sheen being let out in front of his similar criminal Wall Street cocksucker friends, and he cried like a little bitch. He cried like a girl, and he flipped. Now it's a story of something like that happened during the 80s. Guarantee you the same thing will happen if you start putting these people in fucking jail. A fine isn't going to do it. A fine's nothing. $7 billion to Citigroup? What's $7 billion to Citigroup? Oh, and by the way, we'll find out later it's to be paid out over several decades. What is that? It's nothing. You say, oh, okay, we fleeced the American people. We fleeced pension funds and smaller investment firms. We fleeced them all. And we all got our golden parachutes and all our bonuses, and now we got to pay $7 billion over the next 20 years? Oh, fuck it. Yeah, woohoo, party. A fine isn't anything until you start putting people in jail. Now, if it's $7 billion to be paid out over a decade, and the CEO, CFO, COO, all these people are perp walked in handcuffs and account managers are let out by federal agents, then there might be some actual change. Until then, it's just a slap on the wrist. It's a bullshit slap on the wrist that's going to be answered with bullshit expressions of monetary value. Nothing's going to change. Nobody has any incentive to change. And everybody's going to go about business as usual to look for the next way to fuck people. And until we start arresting people, nothing's going to change. All right, let's bring it home. Woo, another great episode of The Lefty Show. I hope you all had a great time listening. I had a great time putting on the show for you today. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank you for following me on Twitter at Lefty643 so you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news. Thank you to everybody for sharing the show with your friends, family, and co-workers. Go to leftyshow.podbean.com to manually subscribe to the RSS feed, or just search The Lefty Show on your favorite Android podcasting app of choice, or go to the iTunes store and search The Lefty Show. Be sure to subscribe and leave a rating there. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'm raising.com/643 Productions, helping keep the ship afloat. Thank you to everybody for watching, everybody for listening, everybody for liking, favoriting, sharing, and donating. I'll catch you next time. This is Lefty. I'm going to go get drunk and enjoy my birthday. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Bye.
Champagne room.